Gunderson, and welcome to Just Asking for a Friend. By now, you must know this is the show where we go out into the collecting community and we meet people, collectors, content creators, sculptors, people from the industry, all walks of life in the collecting community. And today, we have a very special interview for you. This man was a mainstay in the Friday night open mic chat room. Then he made a few appearances. Then next, you know, he was doing other shows. I believe he did a few with Chris Batman Stacky Collector. They talked about comics and what have you. And his posts are some of the most interesting ones you'll ever see in some of the statue groups. Vader calls him the statue philosopher. So it's my pleasure now to introduce you to B. Alex Thompson. Ugh, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. I don't know what's going on. You like that, right? Philosopher, poet, whichever one you prefer.
I like either one.
Hey, been a long time, man. We ain't talking about is, you know, what's been how have things been going?
Woo, madness.
Who you telling? Look at me. I got new environments and everything.
No, I like it. It looks good.
Oh, thanks, man. You know,
yes.
Appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
So what I like to start out with is, you know, tell people what, you know, because we try to get to know you, the man behind the collection. You know what I mean? So like, tell folks where you're from, where you grew up, and then like transition that into how you got into pop culture, and then we're like, you know, into how you started collecting and everything.
From Los Angeles, yep. But where I grew up, now that's a crazy one because all over the place, all over the country, a little bit of Canada. So yep. yes, man, yes. Toronto, New York, a lot of Midwest. So yeah, Louisville, Kentucky was like kind of the main one before I came back.
And was it like would you have a military family, or what was the reason you guys like moved around so much?
Yeah, everybody thinks that. Yeah, after my mom and dad split up, mom always wanted to travel, so that's when she wanted to see the country, and we lived with different relatives, and we saw all kinds of madness.
I can imagine. So, did you have a favorite spot, like by as you relocated, or? I know you ended up back in LA. Yeah.
I remember liking Canada from what I remember of it, but I was really young for that. Okay. New York, I had a lot of fond memories of that. Down south and Midwest was kind of highs and lows. So,
I spent
Clarksville. They were kind of. I tried to make it work. I tried to be, activist and tried to, Louisville almost got the Hornets, I think it was, from Charlotte.
Oh, Louisville, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, yes, okay, we getting a team and we doing some things, and no. Bucket. KFC bucket. They want to put the cheerleaders in like chicken nugget costumes or something. I was like, oh,
what?
No. Oh, no.
I always find out somewhere that's named Ville is always like, usually, I mean, not Louis. I mean, I guess Louisville's a major city, but like usually when they say we're going to Burtonsville, it's out there and whatever, So that's just my personal experience. So
kind of bright.
What got you first into like pop culture and I
always like different things. I always like storytelling, period. So I was a very, inquisitive child and, moving around a lot. I had to get stuck in the house a lot in front of the TV with books and whatever. So, yeah. So like when I was really, really young, we got like a lot of stuff from like Europe. Well, that's the Canadian side probably. So Danger Mouse. I don't know. I think.
Oh, yes. I remember Danger Mouse.
Count Decula and all that type of stuff.
I ain't never seen that one.
But yeah. He-Man was like my main one. So like my three phases were like Motu, He-Man and Motu, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then X-Men. So yeah, Motu was when I was really young, then around middle school, Turtles, and then a little after high school-ish, kind of X-Men.
Okay, yeah. I think I was in high school when X-Men came out. So like no comic books or just it was all like cartoons.
I had a weird thing with comics too. So like Motu, He-Man, they came with mini comics.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I understand the medium. I understand like the words and pictures, but I didn't quite know it was like a different thing. Like comics was a thing. So I loved Alf. So I got the Star Comics with Marvel,
Okay.
Turtles. I got those. I think it was Archie comics. And so,
Mm.
yeah. So it was like high school and like the X-Men game and the X-Men show. And it was like, okay. And a friend of mine, I did side hustles a lot because I was a poor kid.
Me
So I had
too.
to find ways to, make trades to get my toys, or I had to get spending money or whatever. So I was selling whatever, candy bars a lot. And some guy, I was like a mobile pawn shop. So a guy would give me a discount on, yeah, pretty much. Comic books, a stack of comics. And I was like, what is this? This is not, Spider-Man or Superman. This was Image back in that day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they had like a crossover. I think it was like Deathmate or something.
Deathmate, yeah. That was with Valiant Comics.
Yes. Okay,
yeah.
There you go. Valiant. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I'm going to read these real quick before I sell them off. And when I read them, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is not, Super Friends, because I always thought they was cheesy. I watched it, but I wasn't a fan. Spider-Man's Amazing Friends, that was dumb, but I mean, it was fun in a way. I know.
No, I mean
live action Spider-Man who crawled up with walls.
I remember that.
Really a sidewalk.
Yeah,
and I was like,
it was really a sidewalk.
You that can't fool. What? Really? I'm not stupid. But yeah.
Yeah, that string.
Yes. But okay. All right. What is?
I mean, now that I look back at it, Spider-Man is Amazing Friends. It was cheesy, but like back then, I think what got me hyped was more Stan Lee than the actual show. Because Stan Lee, he coming in, get ready, true believers. And today, Dr. Doom is coming. I was like, oh snap! So you run and go get the cereal, and you come back, and you,
Yep, exactly.
But it's funny. Something you said about the comics, because I did find that when they made comics about cartoons that was on, it was a lot different than the cartoon. Like I mean, they made Transformers books. And this was before Transformers movie came out. It was cats dying in there. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And they had like Optimus Prime's head mounted somewhere, and it was still talking. I was like, what in God's name is this? You know what I mean? I did one of these. I stole that joint. I said, what is that? You know what I mean? Because I'm 8 years old reading this mess. I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, so yeah, it was like that. And then they had a crossover with G.I. Joe and the Transformers, and they fired down on Bumblebee. They said, shoot it, and they blew him apart. I was like, youngin', what? That's my whole. I'm messed up reading all that stuff. So I get what you're saying about the Masters of the Universe stuff. So from there, did collecting start early, or you just waited till later on to start like collecting stuff? Or
it started early as a kid. So like I'm very kind of OCD-ish. So I like things organized. I like things where I can see them. So I had my Motu toys, and I think back then I had like a toy chest or like a bag or something. When it went to Turtles, that's when I had like, shelves, like garage shelving. Not like the ones we have now, the heavy duty ones, but they were like flimsy, Target, Walmart. So, I mean, they were good for like toys. So, I put them on the shelves, organize them. You got your factions, you got, brothers and, fighting the Foot Clan. You get a diorama staging. So it was good times.
What was like your favorite toy, or like the best one you ever had, you think?
Woo! For Motu, I think for Christmas I really wanted Modulot, and that was cool. I got that one. Land Shark was awesome. It was one of the few vehicles I had, because the vehicles were expensive, so we could.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. And it's a matter, like, I tell this story a lot too, and because with G.I. Joes, I always wanted a Rattler, and I could never, and before I started collecting this stuff, I ordered one off of eBay. And man, I opened that thing up and I cried, because I always wanted one, and I always wanted a Night Raven too, but I ain't ordered that, but I got my Rattler. You know what I mean? So it's crazy how that nostalgia just from getting something from me, and like when you get it on Christmas and you get the thing you asked for, is something to that, So
that's big.
It is. So like, transitioning into how this stuff started. You know, how did you discover like Sideshow or Bowen or whatever it was?
That one's funny because I'm in the comic industry, and so I've seen the Sideshow booth. I've seen the statues going to conventions. I've been doing conventions like 20 years.
Really?
And so like a few times, yeah, oh yeah. And so I'm like, that looks cool. That's how much? Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna watch that from afar. So like Sideshow was a good, it was like in the middle of the show or whatever. So I can like, when I'm going back and forth, that's on my compass. But I didn't really look at the statues really after that. It was just my like focus. So like my wife about 7-8 years ago, she got diagnosed with cancer.
Oh no.
And so yeah, well, she's good. She's good now. She's good. But yeah, we were stuck in the house when she was going to chemo or whatever, because germs or whatever.
Right.
So I'm very Spartan. I have like I had like a desk and like some bookshelves, and she was like, "You should decorate your place. Like look into some statues or something." I was like,
famous last words.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very, methodic. So I did some research. I was like, okay, well, let's see what this is. I like Deathstroke. I like, this and that. So I like looked on eBay, looked on this and that, got a few trial figures. What did I get first? I think I got like a DC Collectibles Deathstroke. Actually, I got a Storm bust, a little small, like Ultimate Storm.
Okay.
And that was something I had back in the day. I had like a sale or something. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And when I moved back out here, I gave them to my sisters, and I was like, that's whatever. So like when I was going into statues, I was like, okay, this is my touchstone. I know what that was. I like that. Let's start with that. And so it just kept evolving months and months and months. And eventually I found like Statue Forum, and I found the different like Kotobukiya and Sideshow. I found, Facebook groups. Started looking on YouTube, and I don't know, I found you guys because of that Blade custom.
Ah, yeah, that was the first. That was our first unboxing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that at the time, but yeah, you and Rodney, and I was like, oh, a Blade, a Wesley Snipes Blade. All right, let's see what this is about. And I liked you guys and the way you did it and all the formats. So that's when I started getting into DC or Darth Castle at the time.
Darth Castle first, yeah.
And then I don't remember where I found everybody else. Like
probably the algorithm just fed them. Probably
doing searches for stuff led me to other channels. So like the Deathstroke Arkham version, the 1/3, I found a Chris Batman statue collector through that. And so like, and I was like, man, all right, that open world.
So what was your first quarter scale that you got? Like, did you decide to get?
Funny enough, I got that really, really late after like a lot of other stuff, but Sideshow Baroness.
Oh wow, that's a piece I always wanted. But I always wanted the red version.
My brother's the same way. He wants that crimson.
I always wanted that red, and because I actually bought that Cobra Commander from Alex from Red Titan, and of course I ended up selling it. And I always wanted that Baroness, and I was thinking about getting the Serpentor from Prime One and the Destro and all that stuff, but I just it never happened. But I could never find I found it a few times, but the price was crazy. But that's a great piece. That's a great piece, and I don't even see the red one anymore.
Oh, it pops up.
Does it? I haven't seen and of course, to be honest, I don't look in the BST groups that much. I don't go into and again, now I got like a focus, so I guess I wouldn't be looking for it, So
she pops up and they start off cheap, $10, $50, but they shoot up. So like, I'll get my brother that for Christmas. Oh no, not now. Nope.
I actually saw that in a comic book shop, and the one we have one in Annapolis is really huge. And I saw the blue one. I didn't see the red one, but then I remember I went to go look for it, and I said, "Wow, they got a red one too!" And it was, because that's the Crimson Guard armor. And so, like, would you say you're more of a DC guy or a Marvel guy, or just both? Just kind of.
I like both. I would say I like Marvel more because they're more of a grounded, they're like humans that become gods. And DC is like gods pretending to be humans. And I like that perspective. I'm a story guy, so I like that perspective. Like, I can touch stone, I understand this, and then next level, instead of like shrinking it back down. So yeah, even for DC, I like the street level stuff. So I like the Batmans, I like your
Mm.
Titans, I like, you know, stuff like that.
Okay,
Vertigo.
so not like the Supermans and the Wonder Womans and all that kind of stuff.
I do like Wonder Woman, but I'm not super, you know, into her stuff. I'm getting back into her now, but yeah. So
Right.
like Linda Carter as a kid, yeah, I love me some Linda Carter.
Everybody. Every male.
Some females too. I've had
Some females too, yeah.
Who were like, and I was like, yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's so good they like it. So, yeah, that was. I grew up real fast watching that one.
For real. But I've had that like all my life. I thought everybody had that, but thinking back, it was like, okay, yeah, there was like a separation with boys and girls, and like ill girls. I never had that ill girl stage. It was like, yeah, she's cute. And I know that's not appropriate. I can't get with Elvira, but I would like to.
Not Elvira.
Leia, oh my God, I love me some Leia.
You know what's crazy? I well, probably until I don't know, even in maybe when I grew up, but like even when I was watching Jedi, I wasn't even, you know, because it made when I got older, but like you know, at 8, because I saw Jedi at 8 years old, so I was like, you know, but it's crazy. Younger, I saw Wonder Woman, and I was like, wow, this is something about this woman. You know what I mean?
Wonder. Woo!
So I imagine you do collect X-Men though, right?
Oh yeah. Most of mine are like the Sideshow Comiquettes. So like when I first started collecting, I was digging in the files again, poor child. So like the 50-cent bin, 25 bin. So yeah, I got like a lot of classic X-Men and like older ones. So the 80s. So yeah, Comiquettes. I got the Punk Storm and like Black and White Queen.
You know what? We do not. In fact, I was just looking at this PCS Storm that everybody losing their mind. And I was like, they make nobody makes Punk Storm at all.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, to me, artistically, you could do a lot with that. You know what I mean? I like the fact that they use kind of the older look, you know, with the crown and everything. But the 90s Storm looks good too. But I just always thought they needed more of this Punk Storm.
Yes.
You know, and because people think I'm crazy. That's my favorite look for her.
That's one of mine too. Yeah.
So
a lot of people didn't get that time period. A lot of people weren't reading back then. So I was before the 90s, and in our community, the 90s stuff is like king. So yeah. And also some people just don't like the punk. Well, I don't know. Now after the Spider-Verse movie and Spider-Punk. So I don't know what it is then. I don't know.
Did you ever get into Bowen at all? Like
that was a little after my time, and when I was digging in the crates and trying to find some, those prices like, I can't.
Those things for big money.
Yes,
it's crazy. I mean, but I mean, I maintain that for when they came out, they were like right off the comic book page, you know. And people, you know, some of these newer collectors, they don't have detail and everything. They have detail for when it was their time. They had detail for it, you know. So
it still look good. Like the Storm and the original Storm, that Bishop is bad. Or
the Super Skrull is tight.
Yes, cool.
I think my favorite one is still that one, the Iceman when he's on the ice trail.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
That one is two of them, but it's the one I'm talking about. It's got the ice is clear, and he's on, and just like you see him in the comic when he's making the ice trail. It's incredible, you know. And if I had it like that, you know, and I had like another room, I would have another room full of Bowens. You know, I can't have them with the Sith Lords, you know. But
no, that won't go.
No, they ain't gonna happen. They ain't gonna happen, you know. But I think that would quell my Marvel itch. You know what I mean? So
how far are you thinking about this? Is it something in the plans? It could be in the works.
Yeah, I mean, if I get whenever I get a house again, I could do that. But I can't do it now. But it's, I mean, the thing I preach to people is this stuff ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you know, don't lose your house and all this other kind of stuff messing with these freaking statues. You know.
Exactly.
So if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. You know. But because if I had one, I used to have the spinning hammer Thor.
Okay.
You know, and that one, because I remember, you know, looking for a Thor, and like everyone I saw, like, this ain't right. But when I saw that one, I said, that one's perfect.
Yep.
And that's the one I got, you know.
Yeah,
So,
man.
so like story wise, like, so you read comics now, though, right?
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah. I never stop.
And so since you're a story guy, what is your favorite comic story that you've read? Or some of the best? It ain't got to be one, or just some of the best, like top 3 stories you read.
All right, I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. Currently, I love the Krakoa X-Men. That got me back into X-Men comics, like actual buying single issues. So, like, yeah, I've been on that for a while. I love that. Christopher Priest Deathstroke. That was kind of recent. I got the omnibus, and like, man, that was a cool story. Saga from Image. I love that. Really good stuff.
Yeah, because you sounded like Rodney early on, because he you know, that's part of the reason why he likes the Punisher, because he was never really a quote unquote superhero guy, you know. And I remember when he discovered Image, that really got him excited, you know, because all this other stuff wasn't for him, you know. And
well, I veer to Rodney a lot because we don't agree on but for stuff like this, we are on that level. Don't like the cheapness, don't like, you know, silly bright spandex capes, and it's like, underwear outside your tights, like you. And if you want to fight, do you really want to have that, or do you want some body armor, protection, some Kevlar, some armor? I mean, I'm sorry.
No, I get it. I get it. So okay, so we gotta talk about these conventions. I never knew you were like into the conventions. Like, what did you do at the conventions?
So yeah, I'm a publisher, I'm a writer. So yeah, I'm selling the books, I'm trying to get work, I'm freelancing. So yeah, I'm at the tables, I'm slanging books.
Wow. So like, what kind of stuff have you written?
Let me grab some stuff real quick.
Okay, sure. Wrote some books. Never knew that. Never knew that.
Yeah, in the statue industry, I try to like keep it, you know, I'm not trying to promote or whatever. So
I got you.
Really. But yeah, Chaos Campus.
Oh wow.
It started off as a joke.
Oh, so these are comics that you write?
Yeah, trade paperbacks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, these are like the single issues.
Man, I never knew.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, this is what I do for a living. Yeah.
Can we find these anywhere, or they just?
There used to be Comixology, Indie Planet. Can't really get them. Well, you could go to the stores if they're like going through back channels and stuff. But I don't really go through Diamond right now because you got to have a bunch of upfront money for that. And just like I spend it on the art team. So.
Wow, man, I never knew.
Got a book called Sequencing. It's like biological mermaids, like if they were really, really real. They're like animals, and all the stuff you heard. There are reasons why you find some good, and some are dragging people underwater and eating them, and it's the same species, just like people. They're just different. Some are good, some are bad.
Bad, yeah.
Sometimes you catch them on a good day, sometimes you catch them on a bad day.
Wow, that's incredible. That's one of these things I like doing about this show. I never knew that.
That's another thing. Yeah, I appreciate you doing this because like a lot of people I speak to daily on the industry and watching these, I'm like, I didn't know this about them. I didn't know that. So that's cool. So yeah, thank you guys for putting these together.
Oh man, no problem. I'm blown. So okay, now here's something. Now being a writer, I know we just kind of touched on it. How do you view like the MCU? And let it go. You ain't hurting my feelings, trust me.
Personally, I'm loving it. I love it all for the most part. The early days was kind of rough. Like I didn't like Thor 2, The Dark World. There was a few other ones kind of uneven, but I didn't hate like any. That was the only one I kind of really hated. Everything else is awesome. I like everything after Endgame for the most part. So Moon Knight is my jam. Miss Marvel was awesome. Secret Invasion, I'm letting it, simmer. The first episode was kind of but the next two was awesome. So I'm like, okay.
I'm waiting for that to finish, and then I'm gonna just watch them all.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I think for me, I know if I'm weird or not. I wasn't crazy about the first Thor.
Okay.
To me, the first Thor was kind of boring. I thought the second one had more action. I mean, it wasn't to me. None of them have been great in my opinion. You know, what I mean, they've been all right, but Thor wise, the first Avengers,
the first Thor.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of boring, but yeah, there's a lot of character building, and it's like, okay, I see what you're doing.
I mean, I think I was okay. Now after Endgame, I've been kind of doing like this because like I'm watching this stuff. I think my problem with it is I keep asking myself, where is this going? Like, because with the other ones, you kind of saw everything coming to a head. You know, with this, it's like, okay, you got Loki and WandaVision, and I mean, they showed Kang, and then I'm like, dude, what was the purpose of Love and Thunder? You can't tell me that had to contribute to anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
I enjoyed it. I don't even remember too much about it, but as for everything else, it's like go back to like the start of the MCU when all we had was Iron Man. Right. We didn't know that was building up to. We had thoughts, we had hopes because of the stinger with Nick Fury. But yeah, there was experimenting. We were just enjoying what they gave us. So they were building. This is the character, this is the story, and piece by piece by piece. That's what they're doing now after Endgame. Same thing. This is the character, building piece by piece by piece.
So so here's my problem, because I always used to think about like this with music back in the day.
Okay.
I used to think music. Let's go. I used to think musicians, like particularly like rappers, like newer people. Now I ain't talking about like Motown and all that stuff.
Yeah.
When like I didn't really discover this until like the 90s. The rappers, let's just take rappers as an example, because some R&B people did this too. And they would have a successful album and sell out. And then next year, the next one was okay. Then they come out with like a third one and be some like, what is this? To me, once they got successful, they knew you were going to buy it just because they were, you know. First one was amazing. Yeah. And I got the same theory about these Marvel movies, you know. And it's like, okay, we would have bombed for 10 years, and now we're putting out this. And I'm like, you know, that's just how I feel, you know.
Okay, I hear that. I get you. But think from this perspective. All right, musicians, they're creative people. So that first album is not like flash out of the pan. This is a culmination from their birth to that point. They put everything into that first album. Their whole life, their whole passion. Everything is in that first album. That's why that's so amazing. The second album is the sophomore slump. And this is the industry. You got your studio, you got your label behind you, and they pushing you. Make that hit. Top what my name is, according to Eminem, like that song. He mentioned that. So you got to, make that hit, make something for radio play, get this album out. You're crunch. So you got 2 years. So you don't have that same build up. You got to rush it out. So that's why usually those are bad. The third album, it can go back to the beginning, or it can be more experimental. So who knows? It might be good, it might be bad. And usually around that fourth album, if they stay along that long, then they get into their groove and they can ride that out. So yeah, that's how I see it. That was another career path I was about to go down, but didn't quite go there.
Really? Hold that thought. We're gonna get into that for a second too. Because I think one thing that made movies so special when we grew up was that we didn't know anything. You know, like now they got the internet and they started filming and blah 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 is going on, and this is whoever on the set. And back when all the classics from the 80s came out, you didn't know anything until the trailer until it came on TV. Like, oh snap, like it's Star Wars time. Okay, let's go see Star Wars. So I think that has taken some of the juice out of it. I mean, people still get hype and go, but I think that kind of you just seen half the movie before you even go see it.
With the trailers, the multiple trailers, the trailer for the trailer, the teaser for the teaser of the trailer.
And it's sad because I was gonna go see Flash, and then of course everybody, that's what everybody was saying. Then because I wanted to see, I ain't really care about Keaton.
Okay.
I wanted to see Supergirl or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And they were like, basically what you saw in the trailer, that was it. I was like, what? They were like, I was like, you got to be kidding me.
I haven't watched it yet, but I've been hearing the same thing, and I'm like, okay, I'll catch it on streaming then.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
And I think
I'm here for Keaton because he's another reason that got me into making comics. and seeing it in a different light, because we had the Adams West, the 60s, and I hated that as a kid.
Really?
Oh my God. I love the Catwomen, so I watched that for them.
Keep it real.
All of them. Oh, all three of them. Boy. I was a weird child, apparently.
No, yeah. you sound like Rodney. So but yeah. I think for when it was on, it was fine. You know what I mean? Like if that came on, it wouldn't make it today. You know what I mean? But
I
you know, again, I saw this thing at 8 years old, and I was same back time and same back. You know how you get hype and everything.
Cool.
And
I like the little tunnel. The Batmobile comes out.
That stuff was
then
cool.
You got this guy with like this little kid and Daisy Dukes or whatever and tights and like. I don't understand why I don't think this is correct, but it's not correct.
Right.
No.
But I say to this day, that's still my favorite Batmobile.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my favorite Batmobile.
Okay,
you know.
Okay.
And
Batmobile, that's my jam.
Which one?
89.
89.
Returns, yeah, man. And then Batman Returns and Catwoman. Oh my God. So I was like, oh, I like girls in latex, black latex. So yeah.
Oh man.
My whole collection of people in black costumes.
So do you have? Did you get that? The one from Tweeterhead, the fight for Cat.
He's laying down. Yes. Yep.
I didn't know.
Yes. One of my few POs. One of my few. I was like, should I get this? That's a lot of money. I know the pandemic's coming. Screw it. All right, go do it.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So do you have a Keaton statue too, or no?
Not yet. When I was trying to get him, he was too much, and then I discovered he wouldn't fit in my displays, and I was like, well, if it happens, it happens. If not,
so Keaton's your favorite Batman out of all the movie Batman.
He's the one that brings me more nostalgia. I don't know if I can say he's my favorite. I kind of like most of them, really, for different reasons. I like Affleck. I like his savagery. I like the bulk of him. I like his armor. I think he did a good version of Bruce Wayne and Batman. I like Patterson. I like his young Batman. He's kind of unsure. He's cobbling things together. I like that. Who else we got?
Bale.
Bill. I liked his Batman. His Bruce Wayne was kind of undercooked for me, but it was cool.
The way he talked just made me sick.
I get it.
And good. And I was like, oh my God. And one time I was literally there like this. I was like, please shut up. Please stop talking. Bad. No. Affleck is my favorite, like by far. He's good. Because and the suit, everything, like you said, his size, pause. Yes. And and then when the warehouse scene came on, I said finally. I said that's it. Because Bale used to do this Olay mess when he go like that. Like, what does he do? Like there's one scene in the one with Bane, right before he fight Bane, and they did like this flash dance thing, and he would inch like they would flash this light, and he'd be closer and closer. And I was like, man, what the hell was that? And
it was a thing. It was fun for the time. I don't even remember much about that movie, but yeah, it was all right.
So it sounds like you're a cost conscious collector. Like how much price play a factor in whatever you get a piece of that?
Oh, all the time. Price, dimensions, weight, all that. I had a spreadsheet. Yeah. I broke it all down. I compared it to like other pieces of the same scale. How much do I love it? How much is this, will it stick around? And so it just all depends. I don't have Darth Revan because of that, but he's coming. He'll probably be my last one.
The XM?
Yes. Yeah. Well, they're the only ones who did it, pretty much.
Well, they got some custom ones, but like this one's custom. Yeah. Do you got the Malik, or you just gonna get the Revan?
If I can find him at a good deal, I would love to get both of them. But if I can only get one, it's gonna be Revan.
Amen. Because see, I'm not a fan of that mount. The pose kind of messes it up. Like it looks like it's sculpted well and it's painted well, but the pose just destroy. It looked like I don't know if you in the Dragon Ball. It looked like he doing a Kamehameha.
He kind of does.
And
Yes.
I'm like, and no saber form looks like that. Is he defending? Is he attacking? What the hell is he doing? Like XM, y'all watch it. Call me before y'all make another Star Wars, or at least another Sith Lord. Don't do that no more. Please don't do that.
It's back in the day before, maybe they had different styles. That was like centuries ago.
No.
It's like, no.
It's just like Kung Fu. They'll never change. For 1,000 years, the Kung Fu been crane style, tiger style, all that stuff been the same since back in the day.
Yeah, it evolves, though. I mean, Bruce Lee, his Jeet Kune Do, I mean, that was influenced by that, but it evolves. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I guess so.
Always evolve. When you go to other countries, they take what they had and they use what they had in the new area, again, evolving. So, yeah.
Well, I guess that's why he has no jaw.
That could also be a thing, and that might be why the current Sith don't do that style, because
exactly
you failed that.
Learn from this spammer right here. So, do you have a preferred scale or no?
Truthfully, after it took me a while, but 4th and 5th, and I really do like 5th scale. Yeah, okay. I'm glad it's making a comeback, especially with Tweeterhead. They're bringing it back. Sideshow is kind of bringing it back too. So it's like, yeah, bring it.
So do you have the Mythos pieces or no?
That's the Star Wars. I'm trying to keep that small, so I'm sticking to 1/4. Except
I hear a lot of people say that. They don't want to get into Star Wars.
I have a 1/10 Rey and Finn because nobody's making a Finn with the lightsaber, so that was my only choice. So I was like, all right, fine. I'll get that.
Yeah,
I got it.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I found it cheap at Barnes and Noble sale, so I was like, yeah, $25, $30 or whatever it was. Yeah, I'm getting both of y'all.
Yeah, he was. They definitely kind of missed the boat with him.
They failed Finn so hard.
All this Ray. I was like, come on, man, come on. And then she messed around and started kissing Kylo. Yeah.
I don't hate Last Jedi as much as most people because I understand what he was trying to do from a writing aspect. I remember the theater. I was like, it'd be funny if he did this, and and it'd be funny if they do, and they did it. And then I heard afterwards I had people complaining. And I was like, okay. I got to reevaluate my writing, sensibilities. Because we've seen, we've studied storytelling for so long. And everything is like old hat. So we want to try to do something to flip the script.
Right.
So I get what he was doing. But yeah, for most people, for the general audience, they haven't studied it like we have. So it's not like old hat. So I was like, okay, I understand your frustrations. We'll work it out.
Luke didn't bother me like it bothered him, but him tossing the lightsaber, I thought that was jacked up. But his attitude didn't, because if you think about it, Yoda didn't want to train him.
Yeah. Yep.
For the same reason, And but my whole problem with the thing was it was the same concept as the original trilogy. Yeah. So the prequels was not the same concept as the original trilogy. And when I heard what Lucas wanted to do, he wanted to make it like like Darth Maul was the big boss, and Darth Talon was going to be his apprentice, and it was more like a crime boss kind of thing. And I was like, okay, that's different, you know what I mean? Or if they had to do the First Order, I think they shouldn't have been established. It should have been like each movie they get more and more, they amass, and because to me it was another Vader, it was another Emperor, it was another, and the first one to me was so much like A New Hope. It wasn't even funny.
But it was so enjoyable. Oh, it was so enjoyable.
That was the only one I think I could say I really enjoyed. The rest of them, it was, I don't know, man. Plus I didn't feel until the end of Last Jedi, I didn't feel Kylo. Okay. And then at the end, I was like, okay, I got it, because he did too much. I like smooth, that was my thing. I always with Star Wars, I definitely always go to see the Sith or the villain or whatever. And when he started lunching out and destroying, I was like, what is wrong with this dude? And then when he lost, I was like, we supposed to get with this dude for 3 movies? I was like,
that's a Sith trait, lashing out. Vader did it as Vader and as Anakin. He was temperamental the whole way.
No, not in the original trilogy, he wasn't. Who he go off in there? Yeah. Okay. Oh, this new stuff. Yeah, this new stuff they doing it. Yeah. But in real trilogy, he was smooth as silk.
Because in the comics, he's very
they doing that. But now, even if he did, he ain't doing like this cat. I was like, come on with the joke, but he smoothed out eventually, you know.
Yeah.
But by then I was just like, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. So talk about music. You say you were trying to get into music at some point.
I was a singer as a kid.
Oh wow!
So yeah. Oh yeah, I had the Michael Jackson voice going on and did the talent shows and yeah. Oh yeah. I felt kind of embarrassed about it a little bit, but I kind of did it anyway. And around the time my voice changed, that was my like out, so I like kind of dipped. But then I played with rapping a little bit. I did a little A&R work. Did a little stuff with the keys. So yeah.
Was there ever like a band, or did you ever play an instrument, or
no, never got that far. I played around with the idea of it. I was thinking a bass that would be easier, so I was gonna be my way into like instruments and stuff. But yeah, no. I bought one like right before I moved back here, and I played around with it, but I didn't get too far. Life got in the way, and
because my aunt, she was a cocktail room like singer. She played piano in hotels and clubs and all that stuff. And she really made me appreciate all different kinds of music, you know. So like I can do everything except for like country. It's about 3-4 country songs I like, but I mean classical.
Johnny Cash, that's kind of it.
Yeah, a few Johnny Cash and what's the name? Your boy, what's my man with the old cat that was always been old as long as I known him, with the gray beard. Willie, he got about 2 of them. When I made you feel second best. Girl, I'm sorry I was wrong. Yeah, you were always on my mind. That's you know what I mean? That was tight.
For some reason I don't count that as country. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that was tight. And but on the whole, you know, it's again, it's a lot of classical music I like. Even you know, hang out with the metalheads in college, and they, you know, I was like some of this stuff is tight too, you know. And
to this day,
grunge, you know, like Nirvana, one of my favorite groups.
Yeah, man.
You know, so man, it's music is in a way these statues are kind of they should be, you know, because they like even some of the old ones. It's kind of like me because I know it's a lot of turnover in the hobby and it's a lot of people buying and getting rid of stuff. But I don't know, man. Like even some of the older pieces kind of still shine, in my opinion. You know.
Yeah. Same, agreed. So, I still got a lot of older pieces I've been picking up. That older Mystique. That's the one comic kit. I didn't like the comic kit of Mystique, but I liked her. Yeah.
I know the one where she's darker a little bit.
Yes. She's got hands up the gun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Rodney like that for you. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I was like, I wish you were 1/5 and you can go with the rest of them. But no. Yeah.
It's a comic. That's 1/5, isn't it?
No, that's 1/4. She is tall.
Really?
AF. She is tall.
Huh. So, like out of the box, what was like the one piece that wowed you the most out of the box? Like when you opened it and got it in, like you was like, man, this is dope. Because I can tell you, mine knew when I opened this Talon. Oh my god, that thing.
Yeah. I've been dreading this question. I've been trying to think. Woo-wee.
I mean, it ain't the favorite. It's like which one, like out of the box, amazed you the most. I mean, it could be the Pfeiffer or.
She was good. She was really good. You know what? I might give it to my custom Leia, and I gotta thank you for that too again.
What the NYC one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Man.
Yeah, I knew that was.
I caught that episode later. I think it was the next day, and I was watching it, and I was like, "Oh wait, what is this?" And you were like, gave me the info, and I was like, that was another rare pre-order. Yeah, man.
So you don't pre-order?
Not really, not too much.
Okay.
Not too
Me
much.
neither, really. Except for customs, like you say.
Yeah, because you got to kind of. Well, even that you can kind of wait on sometimes.
You can, but with those, I think the price will go up most likely on some of them. You know, I find
I've seen a lot of good ones lately on sale, and I'm like, do I need this? And like, no.
I think it depends on the company.
Yeah,
at least with the Star Wars stuff. Like I find that the NYC stuff goes up, the DMD stuff goes up, but for some reason, design art stuff you can get that pretty reasonable for some reason.
Oh yeah, you can get those cheap.
You can get those cheaper, and but the other ones they kind of.
Oh, we can say names here. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so,
don't make it.
You were saying Dark Riven and the customs. I was thinking of both design arts, and I was like, I was thinking about them, and the bases are big, and the pose, and people had problems, and I was like, all right, yeah.
Well, this one, I didn't have the sabers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one I don't have problem with the sabers. Like most of his sabers, like she's design art, and I've had her on, and her sabers have never gone out. Even this one, the one I designed. That's the second sister.
Yes,
and her saber always has been this one here, and then these two. But his came and his saber was broken.
Yeah,
and so I gotta get it. But he's the Plagueis is a great piece, and him is only one of.
Yeah,
and at the time when I got this Reverend, it was only one of those too. Like now, and people was offering me like $3,000 for that thing. In hindsight, I should have sold it. But at the time, it was the only one. I was like, I don't want to sell it, man. And then they announced the XM, and then they was like, we give you $800 for it. I was like, what?
Yep.
So how do you find the community, like from when you started to now? Like, has it? I'm sure it's changed a lot. Like especially since the pandemic.
There's been a lot of crazy ups and downs, but when I first jumped in the hobby, everybody seemed very welcoming and very friendly and very polite, and everybody was, happy to give, feedback and then slowly I could see like the little pockets of like, the anger and, people hating on things, people, jock riding on certain stuff. And I was like, okay, that's kind of in every industry, every hobby. So that's cool. I'll keep making mental note of that and just, not my thing. And then, lots of highs and lows, I think my place was like, being cool with everybody. But like when I see a newbie, try to give that same experience, help them out. This is the information you need, these are the pitfalls you want to avoid. Again, a lot of stuff you spoke out about telling people. Wait for it. You ain't got to rush. It's all good.
Yeah.
So, and you're just being friendly and just being cool. This hobby is a nice distraction from life. And
it is.
Yeah, it's good.
It can be, but if you let it, it'll consume you. You know what I mean? And again, if you put the importance of these pieces over your necessities in life, then and some people have done that,
I've seen that too, and it's
and I've had several people come on here and say, man, I almost lost this and this and this, I had to step back and reevaluate,
I've seen that, I've seen those, and I was like, I didn't know that, and I'm very
right ain't that crazy?
Just like I'm gonna pull them aside and hug them real quick,
Yeah, man, it's crazy. So you do these, you do like different posts in the group. Like you try to give people something to think about. Like when did you decide to start doing that?
It's just how I am. I like hearing about people's stories. I like giving my opinion, but it's not like, my opinion is not law. I want everybody to know this is my perspective, but I really actually literally want to hear your perspective too. I want to have a discussion. I don't want to fight about it. I want to, okay, I understand where you're coming from. This is where I'm coming from. This is where we're not connecting. That's cool. It's all good. It's a hobby. This is trivial. This is not real life. So it's like, that's cool. So yeah. So I try to tee it up to like, this is what I have and this is what I like about it. Give you where I'm coming from and like, let me know. And if you think something different, tell me about it. It's all good.
Right.
Think something's better, let me know about that too.
It would be so amazing if people would just sit and talk to each other instead of just starting an argument, and I've been guilty of it sometimes, I've gotten into arguments with people, but now I just like, I just take it. I like, listen, okay, I don't agree, but I'm just not going to argue about it. I mean, I just like, okay, that's the opinion. So be it, the only time I'll argue with somebody speak out on my boy, I was like, hold on, when these Dr. Doom people show up, and I'll be like, hold on, sucker. Let
me tell you something.
But other than that, I really could care less. Like we got this one dude in the group, and I ain't gonna say his name, but he doesn't like nothing. Like everything, yeah, this sucks. Yeah, this is, and I'm like, dude, I want to write. Do you like anything? You know what I mean? There's something wrong with everything, man. And one thing, I put a post up, and it was like kind of a goof. And he was like, "Is what you don't like this?" I said, "Man, this sucks." He said, "Man, put a head blind." I was like, "Okay." I said, "But you like this mess, but all this other." I was like, "Oh my god!" So I try. Yeah, I just try not to get too into it, and there's still beefs out. Some of these. You got some of these new cats that like, and it reminds me of when like open mic was on. And it was like jockeying for position and and people moving their shows to compete with other shows. And I was like, man, I mean, it's just the YouTube thing. It got huh?
I'm glad that didn't last too long. That the infighting with the
man, it's just it ain't worth it. So I think cooler heads just prevailed, and it just yeah, me too. So we running short on time. Do you have any other hobbies that we know about or?
I'm getting back into them now that we're getting back. So yeah, concerts. I'm a big concert goer.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like we're talking about music of all types. Yeah, the metal, the pop, the hip hop. I'm there. What is bowling and rock climbing?
What's the best concert you ever been to?
Ooh, man. That is tough to say.
I can tell you mine while you're thinking.
Okay.
Without a doubt, and I had always, and I said it. I said I will see this woman before I leave this earth, and I did.
Okay.
Sade.
I knew that was coming.
She had a concert. I live in DC, but she went on tour with that Love Soldier, which that album I wasn't crazy about. But she went, but she played all the old stuff too. And she went to Philly. I said, we going to Philly. And man, when I tell you that was the most amazing concert I've ever seen, because I've seen Janet Jackson and I saw her in the 1812 album tour. This was like the Capitol Center was still around, which long been torn down. And but man, Sade was if y'all ever get a chance to see Sade live, do it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Definitely. I'm gonna try to get them backstage tickets, and we're gonna have a conversation. My wife and I.
A conversation, you say?
Oh yes.
So did you think about yours or?
Only thing that's coming to my head is Disturbed, because my sister, she was really into them at the time too, and we did like an Oz Fest, and they had a great show. There was a lot of great bands, but they pulled it off. They did some rocking stuff.
I know
we had some like smaller, intimate stuff too, and that was cool too, like Kitten and Muse, and there's a lot of stuff.
I know out west they usually have Coachella.
Still haven't done that yet, but
you going to Coachella? They always talk. They always talking about that on one of the stations around here. And I think another good one was Maze. Frankie Beverly. That was a good concert. I got it from my mom actually for a present for her birthday, and I went. She had, she's like, I don't want to go by myself, so I went with her. And man, it was tight.
Nice.
There's a lot of old heads up in there, but they rock. Yeah, they rock, man, and it's
kind of old heads out.
No, I mean I'm almost there. Who would you like? Who that's not around anymore that you haven't seen would you like to have seen in concert?
Oh man,
I can think about 3 off the top of my head.
Chester Benefield from Linkin Park. I never saw Linkin Park.
Okay.
I saw a lot of Static X, but it's sad I won't get to see them anymore.
Right.
Johnny Cash even. It sucks I never got to see him in person. My one country dude.
Yeah, I like him. He got the smoothest voice, I think for me, definitely, I'm sad I never got to see Prince live.
I was gonna say them next, Michael Jackson and Prince. Yeah,
never saw Michael Jackson. My mother tried, but all them tickets sold out. I would have loved, even though he died long before I was, well, not long, about 5 years before, I would have loved to seen Hendrix live. I would have loved to seen Hendrix live, and I'd love to see Bob Marley live.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, you watch the because I had one DVD of Hendrix concert. I think it was his last concert he had in England. It's called Isle of Wight, 1970, and man,
I'm about to look that up.
I think and I like whenever I go to download some music, I'll get the live version instead of because it's a lot of improvisation on the live stuff. You know what I mean? And I like that a lot more. So I'll usually go for Luther Vandross too. I'd have loved to seen him live. I just thought about that.
Yeah, that's my other one. Yeah, 90s, 80s R&B. That's not my bag. That's not my pocket. I can't.
Really?
Yeah, it sounds like whining to me. It's like country. It sounds like whining to me.
You are so much like Rodney because Rodney doesn't like male R&B singers. No, because he make him feel like the dude. I said, no, man, the dude they singing to the girl. They ain't singing to you. It's like that's what you doing, preaching to the girl, and he never saw it that way.
I understand it. I see it. I just don't like it. I'm not listening to it.
And I can tell you this because I owe Jodeci a lot of money. I owe them brothers some money. That's all I'm telling you.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Other ways and other avenues. Yeah, I get it. When my friends do that, and I was like, I'm gonna find another route. I'm gonna find another way. Let's get some movies. Yeah, come on. My friends always used to make fun of me. TV's in here. Y'all won't see us again for the next morning.
There you go. Yeah. So we're almost out of time. You got anything to add or anything to ask me or
There's so much, but I can't think of it at the moment.
Well, don't worry. At some point, the word is they're gonna be interviewing me on here somewhere. So I think that one might have to be a 2-hour one because Vader got a long story. Episode 1 and episode 2. Revenge of the armpit hair.
It was so silly but so fun.
Okay, here's what was your favorite episode?
Oh my
God. Or favorite open mic moment?
Oh my God, there's been so many.
Just
a lot of them already been talked about because you had Arc on, and that was cool. And our friend the Kraken Hunter and his choice.
That's the producer's favorite episode.
That was up there too. Oh my God. I want to say it was something with Barb and Ohami. Something about when they were fighting over the Pennywise section. Was that on here or was that?
That was probably on there.
Yeah, I think it was early on, and she was debating on whether she get. And he was like, "Nope, you're not getting that." You got it.
You know what? My favorite part with them was when he said, "What's going on with this armpit hair?" And it when we broke it down, and she still he was like, "Okay, I'm sorry, I asked." That was funny, man. But look, man, it's been a great episode. I appreciate you coming on and learned a whole lot of stuff I ain't never known. We will catch y'all next time on Just Ask for a Friend. Talk to you later, everybody.